Hey everyone, how's it going? It is me, Josh Lloyd. We are here live on YouTube. Pre-game show for Monday, 6 games on. We did just get the Alperen Şengün news. I can't give you an opinion on it though until you hit thumbs up and until you subscribe. So for those of you who don't hit thumbs up and those of you who don't subscribe, you'll get cut off in a few minutes and then I'll talk about the Şengün situation. So go and hit that thumbs up button. Good to have you guys here. For the pre-game show, lots to talk about. I wish we'd get a little bit more news on some other players. Oh, what do we just get now? Asar Thompson, off the injury report legend, is out today. There you go. Illness. So he was off the injury report and now he's out. Doug McDermott is officially out as well. Jalen Smith, sick legend. He is not on the injury report. Quentin Grimes is playing. Rashawn Holmes is officially questionable. That doesn't help us. Cam Whitmore is out. Oh my God, what? All right, so there's that one out of there. Man, they can't play Jabari Smith. Oh, geez, what are they going to do? That's more Jeff Green minutes. Oh, no. Bill Al's off the injury report. Jalen Williams is officially questionable. Huh. All right. That's a surprise. Questionable. I don't think he plays. But yeah, just a bunch of news just came through. We'll talk about Şengün in just a second. Good to see you guys here. But yeah, let's talk Şengün now. The report from Woj was he's escaped major injury on his lower right leg. Severely sprained ankle and a bone bruise in his knee. Cool. What does that mean for us? There are less than 5 weeks left in the NBA season. A severely sprained ankle means, I don't know, because Woj is very cavalier with terms with medical stuff. Oh, he had a meniscus repair. Did he? No, he actually had a trim. He had a removal. Right, but Woj chucks those words around. Severe is not minor. So we're talking that's not 2 weeks. If it is grade 3, that's 12 weeks. That's done. If it's a bad bone bruise, it's 6 weeks. He's not playing this season, Şengün. It's like a 0.01% chance to me of that Şengün plays this season. So I think you can drop him feeling fairly, not if you don't feel okay about it, but you feel like it's probably the most likely outcome. I just don't see how it's possible. Less than 5 weeks to go, 2 significant injuries. There's just no way he's playing, right? I don't see how that's possible. Now we get the complicating factor of no bloody Whitmore. So a lot of Landau, a lot of Amen Thompson are going to have to get in there. And Jeff Green is going to have to play because their roster, they don't have other power forwards. So that becomes really, really annoying. Jaren Jackson's out tomorrow. No one should be surprised with that as they continue to do annoying things from the worst team in the NBA, second worst team at reporting injuries, but the most shenanigans of any team at the moment. Let's look at the Rockets roster. Do they have any random back-end players who can play at the 4? Not really. Oh, Jermaine Samuels? Because there's no Eason, there's no Adams, there's no Şengün, there's no Whitmore. Jonathan Williams, no. Does Boban play? Does Reggie Bullock play? Does Jayshawn Tate play? Maybe. Maybe Jayshawn Tate plays. Jeez, we're not adding him. But Tate is going to get minutes. If you added Whitmore, I'd probably just hold. Calling it a knee sprain, but that's not ideal. Yeah, much more into Amen and Landau now. Jock Landau for this game on Tuesday. Yeah, that's complicating, isn't it? Does the Jazz signing Baisley and Lofton mean Lowry might be done? Matt, I do think it leads us to believe that Lowry will not be playing for much longer. That would be my guess. Having both of those guys signed to these weird 3-year non-guaranteed deals means that, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what we get the update on Lowry for tomorrow. But yeah, I would suggest that means Lowry's season is not going to last too much longer at this point. I think that is, I was just going to mention that, so I do enjoy that you're bringing that up. Yeah. All right. I'm just looking what other stuff we need to look at here. Let's go through, what do we have on the lineups page? Nothing confirmed yet. Someone said, is Amen a good stream in 14? Absolutely is a good stream in 14. When would I say Vince Williams is back? Well, they're lying all the time, so I don't know. They've got a back-to-back here Tuesday, Wednesday, so I think Vince might play on Wednesday. That's possible. Victor says, do you think Tatum and Brown sit out tomorrow? I think Jaylen Brown almost definitely sits out tomorrow. I would say, and you haven't seen the show because it's coming out straight after this, but we did the preview of the Boston game and all of Tuesday's action tomorrow. It's coming out straight after this. I think Tatum and Derek White will be questionable. I think Brown will be out and Horford will be out. That's my guess. Do I think Lowry plays? Yeah, look, I'm going to say he plays a game this week, maybe. With Asar out, is Simone a play? Yes, he is. Do I think OG will be heavily limited this week? Maybe for one game, but also not massively. I wouldn't think. It's not his lower body. So I think he'll be... We know about Tibbs, right? But Tibbs is actually pretty okay when we have guys coming back from injury. Look at Hartenstein's minutes, right? He goes when someone's healthy, he says, I don't care about anything that doctors say or medical stuff. I don't care at all. But if they're actually injured, you saw him. He pulls Jalen Brunson back a little bit. He's pulled Hartenstein back for months, right? So I think he's okay with that. Is Bogdanovic a drop? Has been for weeks, mate. Has been for weeks. Is any updates on Hero? Absolutely nothing at this point. Absolutely nothing. With Booker playing, would I start Royce in a points league tonight? I don't think I would. Although Eric Gordon is out, so that does help Royce, but I don't think I would. Is Pritchard or Hauser the better stream? Well, no Drew today. I probably go with Peyton. Yeah, I think I'll take Peyton there. Is Grant a drop in the playoffs? He might play tomorrow. So, not yet. He eventually will be, yes. Do I think Scoot will be held out one side of the back-to-back? I do believe he will be, yes. Would I roster Holmes or Gobert? 14-team, I think both are questionable, aren't they? I think you just got to lean the better player in a 14-teamer like that. Should you drop Vince Williams for a player getting run like Misic or Banton? Banton's not someone, like he's very up and down. We don't know where that role is going to go. Misic for Williams. With Vince again out, maybe. You might have to do it. It's not great, but you might have to do it. Gibbo, don't ever call players Peyton the second. He's just Peyton. Peyton or Dunn this week. You got to beat it. It's a very deep league. Done. Is Branham a good play? I think Branham is a good play. Should you drop Poole for Scoot or Jabari Smith? The Wizards have an unbelievably good schedule. Poole has been playing at a top 50 level, so absolutely not. But this must be an incredibly shallow format where Jabari and Scoot are both available, but you got to have someone worse. Am I trusting Aiden? Absolutely not. He won't play out the season. Will he play out this week? I'd say there's a decent enough chance. Do you stream Trace for today? Yeah, I think Jackson Davis is worth a stream today. He can get into foul trouble, but he gets really strong block numbers, as we've seen. He puts up high field goal percentage, is a good rebounder. He's a very interesting fantasy contributor, Trace. But yeah, they're finally sort of leaning into him a little bit. I really do have some doubts that he will start in this game because they benched him halftime of the last game. So that's worth monitoring. But keep an eye on it. But to break that all down, I do think that he is a stream. I'm just taking a look at some of his projection stuff at the moment. I do think he is a good stream option. As I just go through some stuff here. Yeah. All right. Let's go back to news. No lineups confirmed yet. Oh, there we go. We do, actually. The Hornets is Misic, Miller, Bridges, Williams, Richards. Big Dick Nick's in there. The Pistons go with Cunningham, Ivy, Fontecchio, Stewart, and Duran. So Fontecchio replaces Asar Thompson. That's all we know at this point. Woj says Şengün hasn't been ruled out for the season, but there's significant healing that would need to occur before he could be cleared to play again with the Rockets. Yeah. Okay, he's done. Woj, my guy. He's done. I know he hasn't officially been ruled out, but for our purposes, he's ruled out. Like he's not coming back for a fantasy perspective. What happened to the Raptors? Gary, they're tanking. As simple as that. So Quickly's out, Trent's out. They're turning into one of the messy four. You got the Grizzlies already there, the Blazers already there, Jazz are right there, Raptors are next. Does the report Mobley still in a walking boot mean he will likely be out this week and most of next? Yeah, I've got him out for this week at least. I would say a chunk of next week too, yes. Would I stream in the minivan today or save a move, see if something opens up with the Rockets rotation? Well, if you add Nyang today, you can use him again on Wednesday, but of course, who knows who plays. I would prefer a Rockets guy, yes. Is GG a stream with Jaren and Vince out? Yes. Although, Just be prepared for a big, big disaster on your field goal percentage. Jalen McDaniels or Lively today. There's a lot of guys out in Toronto. I'll probably go Jalen, honestly. Is Jalen Johnson a drop? He hasn't even been ruled out yet, so no. You're talking about a top 50 player, and we're just casually throwing around like I'm just going to get rid of him. Right? Don't view Jalen Johnson as a guy that you grabbed off waivers to start the season. He's a bona fide top 50 player. He's missed 2 games. He might play Wednesday. I don't know. If we get actually news that he's out, then sure, and no one's above being dropped. But this is a top 50 player, top 40 player who's going to have to take on even more with Sadiq Bey out. So yeah, don't get too happy on that. Who's more likely to play 3 this week? Trent or Asar? Asar is, I would think. Is Champagne a stream? Why did he get extra minutes last start? He got extra minutes last start because Wembanyama and Vassell were out. So they're both going to play here, so no. I expect his minutes to go straight back down. Okay. Just checking if there's any more news. That's the only early game that we've got, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, the Suns lineup is out. Booker, Beal, Allen, Durant, and Nurkic. So that means that O'Neal moves to the bench. It's not a surprise. So we're just waiting on... Oh, we've got all that. We're waiting on... Devin Vassell, they said he's probable, but a game-time decision, which is weird. What else do we need to wait on? Bruce Brown status? Why are they listening? Just rule him out, my guy. Jeremy Grant's still questionable. And they're really the only ones that matter. RJ Barrett is probable, so he'll be okay. We haven't done dribble game. Let's dribble. What are we going to do here? Shea and Lillard. This shouldn't be that hard. Jalen Horde. Oh, look at that. Your boy's good, isn't he? Whew. Let's do the connections. Texting LeBron for connections. No, you're not, because you didn't even spell his name right. All right, let's have a look. What have we got here? Jared Vanderbilt, Scotland Barnes, Lonzo Ball, LaMelo Ball, LiAngelo Ball. Why have we all got all our balls out here? A Kongwu? We talking about played college in Los Angeles? Because that's a Kongwu ball. Oh no, but they didn't play there, did they? Did they all play on the same high school team, the balls, with a Kongwu? I think they might have. Let's try it. Yes, 2016 Chino Hills. W. Gobert, Anderson, Edwards, Beasley all played together last season. Who's this big dopey white guy down the bottom? What about Cade? Where does Cade fit in here? All right, we'll get back to that in a sec, but let's just throw those Timberwolves. They played all together last season. Let's throw them together. No, it didn't work. Interesting. One away. All right, we'll get back to that in a sec. Let's see if there's any more news that's come through. Oh, we've got that. Yeah, so those first 2 games all confirmed there. Lineups confirmed. That's the best news there about... Like Şengün, it's like not an ACL or anything, but... And I know that's how a lot of it's reported is avoided major injury. For us, it is major though. Like 4 weeks is major. Like that's it. All right, so don't get some of the wording twisted, I don't think. I think there's just no way he comes back this week. Next week, 2-3 weeks. Do you have to worry about Miles Bridges and the Hornets tanking in the coming weeks? Yes. I think you do. The top row play together now. It's called Look Connections this game. The top row... Oh yeah, TJ Warren's there. But Vanderbilt played with them last year as well. There's a lot of former Timberwolves. Yeah. Oh, former Timberwolves. Okay. Beasley, Vanderbilt, Beverly. Who's the other former Timberwolf? It's not Barnes. TJ's current. It's not Cade. Who's this bloke? Who's this Jazz guy? I have no idea who that is. Is it this guy? I don't even know who that is. Former Timberwolves. Let's try it. I don't even know who that guy is. One away again. So I am... Oh, it's him. Is it? Who is that? Who's that Nets player? 1 away. So it is. It's former Timberwolves altogether, but I guess it's this goofball here. Players traded for Rudy Gobert. Who is that? Why don't I know who that is? All right, let's go back to the lineups. Back to questions. Jalen McDaniels, stream him today for sure. Do you drop Reeves to stream Kamara? 12-team points in semifinals. Top left is TJ Warren, yeah. 2 games of Reeves. I assume his points league production is not super strong. Kamara is not a great option. But I do think that, yeah. If your matchup looks tight, I think I would do that. It's tough to say, though. Just waiting to see if there's any more news going on here. There is not. Who's currently the best player in the Pelicans? It's still Zion, I believe. It is Leandro Balmaro. Thank you, Nectaris. Why couldn't I think who that was? The next player is Day'Ron Sharpe. Yes, it is. Thank you. It says, I just realized there's a button down the bottom that says that you can use players' names instead of photos. But we won't do that. Gobert, Edwards, Barnes. So these are top 5 picks. Barnes, Cade. Who's the other top 5 pick here, though? Sharpe's not. Gobert's not. All rookie first team members. Rookies of the year. Rookies of the year. No, but who else is... No one else there is a rookie of the year. 50-point club. TJ Warren. Ant hasn't, no. I'm going to use a play name. Who is this guy? It is Moses Moody. Moses Moody was in the same draft as Cade, in the same draft as Scott, and then in the same draft as Sharpe. Can I select more? TJ Warren. They were all in the same draft, weren't they? Yes. Oh, they play for Montverde. All right, there you go. And then Anderson, Edwards, Gobert, and Warren. So current Timberwolves. Is that all it was? Huh. All right, cool. We got there eventually. Saban Lee is inactive today, for those of you considering him. Don't know why, but he is. I guess with Booker back, they're not going to use him. Preserve, I don't know. He's not playing. We know that much. Keontae George or Scoot? Well, George is actually doing it at the moment. Scoot's, I think, will do it, but I think you just have to go with George. Is Zach Collins a hold through Monday, Tuesday, back-to-back? Honestly, there is a chance Wemby sits tomorrow. There's also a chance that Collins sits too. He's had a lot of ankle problems. So that is tough. There's been nothing mentioned whatsoever. I don't even know if any media members have asked Pop, hey, is Wemby going to play tomorrow? No one said anything. So I'm not super confident in that. Also, Collins was outplayed by Barlow last game too. Do I think Donovan Mitchell comes back this week? Yeah, late in the week. Should you start Grant Williams tonight and Yang tonight? I would start Yang. Grant, I'm iffy with it. Probably would, given who's out. Drop Trey Man. I think you probably do. He could come back Wednesday, but if you drop him now, you get 2 extra days worth of action in, and there's no guarantees even returning for that one. What do you do with Hero? Unclear timeline of return. Do I drop? I'd like to get an update. Like if we hear that he's out again, and we'll get that soon in the next couple of hours, then you got to start to consider it, but it's possible that he just is back in the next game. So we don't have that update yet. What are the odds on Caruso 5 stocks? We don't use that term here around here. That's a slur. We don't use that term. So how many steals and blocks does Caruso get today combined? Yeah, I think I'd say it's 20% that he does. JP Lawrence, do players generally have a ramp up after a concussion? It really depends how long they've been out and if they've been able to do any cardio stuff. I would think that Maxey will be fine. Do I have any parlays? I do not, Armando. Again, another quick tip. I say this all the time. Parlays are the most negative EV play that you can do in any gambling. They don't hit. Like the allure is there. Well, I've hit 11 legs and I've made 25,000. They just don't hit. All right. They are the most negative EV play you can do. Stream Banton or Kamara? I guess you got to ask yourself, Mitch, who do you think goes to the bench? Because if Grant plays, someone's going to the bench. Is it Kamara? Is it Banton? You're going to have Simons, you're going to have Ayton, you're going to have Grant. Those guys are going to start. Simons, Ayton, Grant are going to start. Then there's Murray, Banton, Kamara. 2 of those 3 start. Kamara's been pre-locked in as a starter. Banton and Murray up in the air. I could see actually them both starting and Murray moving to the bench. I feel like Banton's got higher upside. Oh, long story short, Banton's got higher upside. How many minutes do I think Hart loses when OG possibly returns? Well, he's not going to play 43 a night. So let's say he goes down to 35. That would be my guess. Jackson Davis or Kamara and add for the week. Jackson Davis, way higher fantasy upside, so let's take him. Is Thibault worth streaming? Only if you need defensive stats. Is there any upside for holding Reeves 4 games in 13 days? Obviously, that's a terrible schedule. That's just going to depend a lot on your like how strong is your team. Moving on from him, totally understandable. If you need to just pump games in, it's also part of why I think games caps need to be the way that you run things in fantasy, much like Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Like I've got Austin Reeves, and in industry pickup, I haven't thought for a single second I'm going to drop him because of the schedule, because we've got a games cap, which again is just a way fairer way of doing all of this stuff, and it's ridiculous to me that it's not a standard setting. But at this point of the year, 4 games in 13 nights, you can easily get 9 games out of that 13, 10 games out of that 13. Yeah, you do it. How do I feel about 2-week playoff rounds? I'm in a custom league, don't mind it. Yeah, they're pretty good. The problem with them is that you either have to cut down on the amount of teams in the playoffs, or you need to start your playoffs incredibly early, which I don't love. So they're good. I do like them, but that is your problem. If you have a player that plays Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, just drop them Thursday to get a 3-game play for Thursday. So what's the point of that? Because you're not actually gaining anything. All right, so they go Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, but you drop them before they play Thursday just to add somebody else in who plays Thursday. That doesn't benefit you. The only reason you do that is if the Thursday to Sunday guy is a better player. But that's just going to depend on like if you've got that 3 games in 4 nights guy, well, then your 3 game in 4 nights actually has no value because you're not using the 3rd game. So, no, it's a general rule. What's the game of the day to watch? Let's have a look. What's on? Wemby's always going to be on that list, so that game looks interesting at a first glance. Boston, Portland, disgusting. Toronto, Denver, disgusting. It's probably Dallas, Chicago. Phoenix, Cleveland would have been it, but the injuries are there, so let's go with either Wemby or Dallas, Chicago. Does the Whitmore news boost Amen? I know different positions. He can guard down to the 3, get more usage. Well, consider they just don't have many other players. It's getting to that stage where it probably does. I tweeted this out, and I'll say it on here as well. If you go look at Amen Thompson's positional estimate on Basketball Reference, right, it'll give you the false impression that he plays 40% of his minutes, not 40, it was 14, percent of his minutes at power forward. And you'll go, well, of course. So Smith will play center, Şengün's out, Amen will play the 4 with Whitmore out, that's fine. I beg you to have a critical eye on looking at these numbers. Basketball Reference's player position estimate says that Amen Thompson has played 0 minutes at point guard. This is the man who started in place of Fred VanVleet at point guard. This is the man who has been this team's backup point guard for the last 2 months. And it says he's played 0 minutes at point guard. So that is how you understand how they've positionalized everything. They've said 58% of his minutes have come at small forward, which is not true. He's played about 10% of his minutes at small forward, 5 maybe, and 14% at power forward. Amen. Because they base it on height. So they're saying that Jalen Green is the point guard. Like, come on. Jalen Green is the point guard. Well, he's not. Amen Thompson is. The player, according to Basketball Index, with the 2nd highest percentage on ball on this team, behind Fred VanVleet, is Amen Thompson because he's a point guard. So, sure, he's big enough he can guard up, but just be very cautious about using those numbers as a justification for that. And again, if they do decide that Amen plays, that means they'll be going Jalen Green, Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks, and Amen Thompson. That is an incredibly small group. It's incredibly small. And Ime Udoka does not like him small. Okay. Is Royce O'Neal playing tonight? He is. Can you move on from Hartenstein into 10-team points? Absolutely you can. What's with Chris Boucher? He's injured. Andre says, did my partner win the thing that I voted for? She's in the room with me. Have we got results yet? We have not got the results of that yet. So I don't know, Andre, but we do appreciate your vote. Jared says, hey, fashion legend. Can we get your reactions from the fashion show? What was my fit? It's a good question. I was wearing a pair of pink polo shorts, had a navy blue Jacques Mousse shirt on, and I had off-white Air Force One mids, the yellow ones, is what I was wearing. What was my reaction? I was the film crew. I was just filming stuff. So I didn't really see it. A lot of it, probably not my style. Probably not what I'm going to be wearing. But yeah, I was filming a lot of it. Have I ever considered playing fantasy baseball? Yeah, I have played in the past. I don't think I'll be doing it this year. Who would be my counterpart? I'm starting to listen to some fantasy baseball stuff at the moment. There's a lot of good shows out there. Obviously, I'm going to tell you about Locked On Fantasy Baseball and those guys putting out some good content. But there is a lot of good stuff out there. They don't always approach it the same way that I do. That's okay. But yeah, I don't know how else to really answer that. Bertans or Pritchard to stream today? If it's just today, I'm going to take Davis. We're going to go Latvian laser. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Kuya. To pick up Landale or Neesmith? The Landale one is fraught with danger, isn't it? I would say that Landale has higher upside. Neesmith's upside's not super high. Yeah, that is tough. When people ask these sort of questions, right, Maxwell? I'd say both of them are 12-team league players, but the fact that you get to choose between both of them sitting there on the waiver wire makes me suggest that your league is a little bit inactive or a little bit shallow, meaning you're going to have a lot of good options available on your waiver wire. I feel safer with Neesmith, so I'd probably go that way. Who did the artwork behind me? Well, that is a Basquiat, and that's shoeboxes, but it's from a company called Displate. Well, two people asking me in a row the same question. Interesting. Mike, I know you're jealous of this shirt. That's okay, mate. We can't all be as cool as I am. Simple stuff. If you don't have the balls big enough to wear a lime green shirt, well, maybe you need to talk to your doctor. What was that, sorry? You talk to a urologist. Wow. All right. Get your big, crinkly Leon balls. What else is going on here as I descend into testicular discussions? Stash a men to see what happens? Yeah. Look, if you've got the ability to stash guys, then sure. Like, Amen Thompson only probably needs 24 minutes. The Whitmore injury does add stuff to him. What I'm telling you is just don't think, well, this 35 minutes here he's going to start at power forward and be that guy. That would be against everything we've seen from Udoka all the way through. And it would lead you to a letdown scenario. Not saying not to add him. There is significant value when Ben does. I love him, and I think he's a really good player. I think he's got great fantasy appeal. But just be really cautious. Why haven't Miami made any free agency signings? Well, who are they going to sign, number one? And they did. They signed Patty Mills. What do you want? Who do you want them to sign? Who's out there? Isaiah Thomas. Who do you want them to sign? Do I think J-Dub and Jalen Johnson come back this week? Yes and yes. J-Dub is only questionable, and Jalen, we just haven't had that update yet. I think they're both going to come back this week. As we are 2 minutes away from ending. So, if all of you guys have much experience with doing things within 2 minutes, get those questions sent in. What are my thoughts on the Dolphins offseason so far? Mike, I have not looked at it yet. I assume... What have we done? I haven't seen what we've done yet. I have to go and have a look. I see how hard the Raptors are tanking. Yes. It's going to get worse. Look at everyone who's out today. Is Reith worth hold? That's a terrible phrase. Reith worth holding on to? You could drop from Neesmith and Landau. Reith will be worth it, but we just have to wait for Ayton to go back out again. So if you want to get some value in now, then do it. How do the displays hold on the wall? Well, it's a good question. With 1 minute left, I will get into it. There is a adhesive thing that sticks onto the wall. You peel this thing off and stick it on. Then there's this sort of cube that sits there, and it's magnetized, and that sits onto the wall with the adhesive, and then it's magnetized. So the disc plates are metal, and it magnetizes onto it. Then I can just take them off and put a new one on because it's all magnetized. Who did we get rid of? Who did we sell off? I haven't seen it, Aaron. I'm gonna have to look. Am I gonna be upset? I feel like I am. Is Gary Trent a hold or a drop for Dick? Well, I don't know. If you want to drop for Dick, then that's your prerogative. But I would probably hold. Trent's out this one game. I don't know what's going to happen after that. I think it is. This is what I've said all along. At some point, they will stop playing Trent. They will stop playing Brown, and they will lean into Dick, and you will get that from him. But like, when do we consistently get 30 minutes of Dick? I've been looking for 30 minutes of Dick for a long time, and I just don't know when it's going to come. I think we get it today, but can we rely on 30 minutes of Dick every day? And the only reason I know that phrase is because my partner asks me that every day. So when can I finally get 30 minutes of Dick? It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. And that is what she said. That'll bring us to the end of the show, guys. So, in all seriousness, though, I do think Dick is going to be a starter in like a week or two. It might even be from right now. So if you do want to take that plunge, go and do it. Go and hit thumbs up on the way out. It's a great way of helping the show. Every thumb that you give me up lets me generate another Dick joke. So go and chuck those in there. Subscribe, ring the bell, leave your comments. I'm out of here. Bye.